Bait is a 2012 Australian and Singaporean shark film directed by Kimball Randall with Russell Mulcahy and John Kim writing. Our fishing tale follows multiple survivors of a freak tsunami that sees them stranded in a grocery store. Killer deals aren't the only thing they need to look out for, as a 12-foot shark has found its way inside the store. With a monster below them, hazards all around, and a criminal to watch, they'll need to think up something fast, or they'll find the fin in finish.
What's going on?
Steven, get out of the water!
Our tale begins not at a store, but at a beach. A beach where Josh, played by Xavier Samuel, is hungover. Rory, played by Richard Braccatisano, is there to give him a health potion and a quest.
I'll check the boy. Oh, my sister's down the beach. She wants to show you something.
What does she want to show him? That she has a nice ass! And this is Tina, played by Sharni Vinson. Their romancing is cut short, however, as a shark is spotted in the area, which tells us two things.
What?
The CGI isn't great, and Rory is chum. Also, yes, I hadn't realized at the time of watching, but this film was cashed in on the 3D resurgence, or at least the perceived 3D resurgence. Did anyone really get hyped just because a film put 3D in the title? 1 year later, and Josh has failed in filling the hole in his heart, and has turned to filling the shelves. Well, at least there's still some happy couples like these two strange men who hide out in the car park. Or Ryan, played by Alex Russell, and his shoplifting girlfriend Jamie, played by Phoebe Tonkin. Well, happy until the store manager Jessup, played by Andrea Pang, finds them. Look, sir, I've seen this one before, okay? I was about to punish her, believe me. Well, they'll have to wait, as Jessup is held up by Doyle, played by Julian McMahon. Ironically, Julian was also in a film called Rogue, though most of you may recognize him as Dr. Doom from the Fantastic Four, but I really wanted to bring up the Rogue one, because Rogue. Well, it looks like the heist is doomed to fail, as not only is there no money in the vault, but Jamie's father, who has come to arrest her, instead gets entangled in an armed robbery. Well, this has begun to spiral. Let's make it a corkscrew. Also, a lot is happening, so to keep you up to date, Tina is back with her Chinese Singaporean boy toy Steven, played by Kui Yuwu. Ryan helps Jamie off her dad's vehicle and is now trapped in the car park with the B-plot. Back with A, it seems most everyone is doing well, all things considered. Though I don't think Todd remembers anything metal in his leg. Also, Todd is played by Martin Sachs. Well, the situation is fucked, but not much to do apart from chat and get to know each other. Maybe even hold hands and sing a few songs.
The water's still rising.
No, it can't be.
The whole bloody town must be flooded up there.
Or I suppose, yeah, looking for ways out is a better use of time. 2 places to check means 2 people to go in. Turns out both ways are blocked and survivors aren't alone. Luckily, Josh spots the beast. Not so luckily, everyone is deaf and dumb. No, not, Collins? Played by Damien Garvey, who was in Daybreakers. It should be noted that this film has some very good practical effects, but most of the time favors going with CGI, which is a bit disappointing, as it's very noticeable. Well, I guess it's time to snag a bag of Cheez-Its and relax, as there's not much we can do besides wait for rescue. Nah, that'd be boring. But we need some steaks.
Why are you laughing?
Because he just realized when the water hits those cables, his whole place will light up like a Christmas tree.
Oh, that'll do. That'll do nicely. Even though if the box to turn it off is underwater already, that would mean the water is already electrified. Never mind. Steven, you haven't done much in this film, so it's time to inform Josh that Tina never forgot him and put on the improvised anti-shark suit. Can't tell if it works or if the shark just can't be bothered. Either way, it's a bad day to come up short and a bad day to be over-encumbered. On the one hand, he has the saddest death in the film. On the other hand, I'm just reminded of that Dick Falcar from Oblivion. Though I also suppose if he hadn't pulled the tube back, he could have just stuck it back in his mouth. Josh, you jackass. So with the power off, that's problem solved, right? Yes, but we need more death. So time for the managers to step up and go for help. Or get crabs. Well, that looked uncomfortable, but at least now... Oh! Well, now the shark has crabs. Well, that plan fell through. So what now? Well, Doyle has a great idea of hooking the beast. People really like hooking their beast in these types of movies. Just so happens there's some nice meat hooks with complimentary bait. Problem is securing the hooks. For some reason, the one individual bleeding all over the place volunteers, but Jamie is quicker diving into the water. Much like the practical gore effects versus the CGI, the actual shark doesn't look too bad. Which is a shame, since they go for this over-the-top CGI. Well, the quest item has been recovered, only problem is that it's not super effective. This activates the group's trap card in the form of Kirby, played by Dan Wiley.
What about the mask on the body?
Wasn't me, mate.
He reveals that he was the other robber who started executing people. Turns out he simply put his mask on a corpse. Well, he's all for live bait until the tables are turned and he's cast into the water. I do love how petty the shark is. It makes sure to surface and show everyone that it got him. Again, making me wish we had more of this practical creature. Also, I should probably catch everyone up on the B-plot, which has largely been pointless up to now. Basically, Ryan has been surviving down the parking garage against another 12-foot shark. They're just in season this time of year. Only instead of criminals, he has to deal with annoying rich kids. Well, after a death, he's able to bang on a pipe alerting the others. Josh and Jamie venture down, managing to find Ryan, and a shock. Luckily, they end up on Todd's van, which comes equipped with a handy-dandy boomstick and 12-gauge. Unable to hit the beast, Josh dives into the water and waits. Now, would a shotgun work underwater? I wouldn't have risked it. Besides, it water clogs later against the now unhooked original shark. Luckily, Josh has the acrobatic skill and Pokemon knowledge to know that water types are weak to electricity. With Doyle's help, the group makes outside and manages to live happily ever after. There was a planned sequel, but it was scrapped due to similarities with the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. I guess another movie technically beat them to the idea they had. So that was Bait, or Bait 3D. Unless you watched it in 2D like me, then it's just Bait. Being made on a budget of $20 million, it would make $32.5 million at the box office. Well, it did bomb in Australia, with only $800K being made. China and Italy were its two largest sources of income. The movie would premiere in 2012 at the Venice Film Festival, with a theatrical debut in Australia, 20th of September 2012. The latest release to date is South Africa, August 3rd, 2023. The DVD release would be titled Bait, with only the Blu-ray maintaining the 3D in the title. Italy would see the much less original name with Shark 3D, while Japan got Panic Market 3D, which sounds more like a goofy collection of market-related minigames on the 3DS. Shooting in Queensland, Australia in September 2010 and wrapped just prior to Christmas 2010 on January 3rd, 2011. However, post-production was done in Singapore the following month. This film was actually the first collab between Australia and Singapore. Director Kimball Rendell wanted to entirely avoid using CGI, but budget concerns led to more of it being used. However, they did have 3 animatronic sharks, which did see use throughout the film. Also, prior to Rendell getting the job, originally the director's seat was slated for Russell Mulcahy, who had to dip out due to working on Teen Wolf, though he is responsible for Rendell getting the job. Bait isn't what I would consider a great film. Its characters aren't as well made as in Rogue, but both them and the film are more enjoyable than The Flood. The film manages to just hit a middle ground of harmless fun. Sure, there's better shark films, and more outrageous ones at that, but a nice simple plot of people being stuck in a location with a threat that is simplistic and murdering is good enough for a late night watch or just some good white noise. I will say that this film seems to struggle a bit with tone. This isn't helped by the poor CGI gore as opposed to superior practical effects showing off a ton more in the B-plot. The sharks also act more like something out of the Sci-Fi Channel's Sharktopus phase at just random. Other times they're just a shark. Also, characters seemed almost dubbed over at parts. The other thief sounded downright like a 4Kids dub, though I can't be sure. But hey, you aren't here for the most highbrow content, and if you go in with the right expectations, this can be a fun enough film. At the very least, it's enjoyable schlock, if nothing else. Also, don't you think I can't tell that's an oldies? I can smell the deals.
Once you get past the gag reflex, it's actually not that bad.
Bye.